Howdy folks, Spencer here, and today I want to go through and take a look at the new additions to the Q's Winter Wonderland event for 2022, and just go over some general information about the event in general. So first things first, Q's Winter Wonderland will be starting up on all platforms on December 6th, and will be running through January 5th. So all platforms at the same time. You've got a month to go in and get whatever items you're looking to get from the winter event. Now, a reminder for the ship itself, you have to do one of the events on the map for 20 days during that 1 month period in order to get the ship. This year, the ship is the Fakiri Burjai Interceptor, and we don't yet have the full stats of this ship, but the only other interceptor we have in the game is the Bajoran one from a couple years back, and that ended up being a 5-2 with a lieutenant commander and lieutenant spec seat. And based off of what they did on the live stream where they were going through and somewhat building out this ship, it's looking like this ship will also likely end up being like a 5-2 with a temporal seat and an intel seat of some sort. We don't yet have the finalized stats of the ship, but I would expect to see those probably on Monday, December 5th. And I'll go over them shortly after that blog goes out. But if you want to see this ship from a few different angles, Fleffle has a good set of pictures over on the STO subreddit, which I'll link down in the description below. So you can go through and see how this ship looks from a few different angles. It's certainly not going to be for everyone, but I don't think it's the worst looking ship we've had in the game. But I do definitely see that there's going to be quite a few of you that are just not a big fan of this ship. Now, to get your free ship here, you have to go through and do one of the events on the map every day for 20 days. And in the past, you had to go through and specifically do that ice track to go through and get your progress. But as of last year, they went through and changed that. So you actually have multiple routes to go through and get your daily progress. You can do the fastest game on ice, Klingon ice fishing, Tides of Ice, the Fast and the Furious, Cones of Conduct, or the Crampiri event on the map to earn the daily progress. So if you're somebody that always had troubles, completing the ice race, now you do have other options to get that daily progress. So and that also gives you the option too to break it up so you don't have to do the same thing over and over each day. You can break it up and do a different event each day if you want. So it's definitely nice that they've went through and done that. That does open up the accessibility of the event for a lot of people. Now, they don't mention it in this blog, but if you want to buy this ship out, if you don't want to run the events at all, then it will cost you 1,000 Lobi to do so. And each day you do the event, you'll get the cost to buy it out decreased by 50 Lobi. In general, I really would not recommend buying this ship out for 1,000 Lobi, regardless of what its stats are. You can earn it for free just by doing one of the events on the map for 20 days. So 1,000 Lobi is really expensive. It's over $200 worth of lockboxes in order to get. So I would recommend you save your Lobi, given it's so expensive, and you just get this ship for free. That's what I'm going to do, and it's very much what you should do. Now, as for new items in the winter event store, we have a new Breen Space Set that they have added this year. This set has a Breen omnidirectional cold beam array. So this is an omnidirectional beam array that is dealing cold damage. And this weapon has a 2.5% chance to cause both shield and engines to go offline on your target for a period of time. Now, this is an omnidirectional beam that is part of a set. Now, what that means is that if you are already running an omnidirectional beam array that is part of a set, you're most likely not going to be able to run this new Omni Beam alongside the set Omni that you already have. So just know that that restriction is going to hurt using this Omni on some builds. You're just not going to be able to because you're not going to want to drop the existing set Omni that you have in some cases. I would really have liked to have seen them include a turret as part of this set, but they've only included an Omni Beam, which is A missed opportunity for them, including a turret as a set piece, really gives us more options on how we can build ships out with some of these sets. Now, the second piece of the set is the Breen Cold Torpedo Weapon. This is a super cooled torpedo that delivers cold damage to your target, and it has a 20% chance to knock both shields and engines off on your target for a period of time. And the console here is the Breen Cryonic Module. This has passives on it to give you drain expertise and auxiliary power, and it has another passive effect on it in that if you knock a foe's subsystem offline, it will cause a 2-kilometer AoE cold damage explosion to occur at that target that will also damage any nearby foes within 2 kilometers of that target. So if you're using a build where you're shutting enemy subsystems off quite a bit, this could end up being a really interesting console. But, as with anything they introduce into the game, we really need to wait and see how this actually performs once players have access to it to see whether or not it's actually any good. Now, there is some set bonuses here for this. So if you have the 2-piece slotted, you're getting a 10% increase to cold damage, which is really nice because there's not many cold damage items in the game. There's not a ton of boost for it. And with both of these new weapons dealing cold damage and the console causing a cold damage explosion, it's really nice to see that they're giving some more cold damage boost to boost these items. And if you have 2 of the pieces slotted, you're also going to get a 2.5% chance to hold nearby foes for a period of time when cold damage is delivered. And if you have the 3-piece slotted, you get an 18% increase to cold damage, and you're getting a 5% chance to hold nearby foes for a period of time when cold damage is delivered. Now, I don't know if this is stacking alongside the 2-piece or if this is just overriding the 2-piece. But we'll have to wait and see on that part. And if you have the 3-piece, you can activate the Cryonic Blackout, which causes a 4-kilometer area of effect that is going to blast out from your ship to deliver cold damage and disable foes within 4 kilometers of you for a period of time. And you can see that effect up here in this picture. Overall, I think it's interesting. It's an interesting set, and there are some cold items in the game that they've released over the past few years that may benefit quite a bit from the set and the set bonuses. But, we're going to have to wait and see. Can this Omni Beam work alongside the other set Omni Beams, or does it encounter that same set Omni Beam restriction? So, going to have to wait and see how this works alongside the existing gear we have. Without having it on hand, can't really tell. And I do think it's a missed opportunity for them to not include a turret in this set. And I think I'm going to post on Twitter and just poke Kale about seeing if they can add a turret to this set, because, there's several other sets out there where you have an option to either run an Omni Beam or a turret for that part of the set. And not having a turret here really does limit how much people can use this set on some builds. But overall, it's a neat idea. It's something new. It's not something that I think is necessarily going to be meta, but it is going to be something new for people to mess around with. And it's a new way it might open up a new way to build out some size ships focused on, disabling subsystems. Now, for the new winter event weapon, we have the Red Riker BB gun. And a reminder, this is exclusive to use on the winter event maps. I do think that there's actually a sort of a missed opportunity here with this Red Riker BB gun. They could easily have also introduced one that could be used outside of the event. I think this is going to be extremely popular for use inside the event, but it's not going to be usable in any other content. I think that something like this would be very popular and get a lot of attention if we could also use it, against normal enemies. We already have a Tommy gun in the game, a replica Tommy gun that deals physical damage to targets, and I think something like this that deals physical damage would be really nice. I do think it looks interesting. I'm going to pick it up and mess around with it in the winter event, but I do wish we had a way to use this or get a version of it that we could use outside of the winter event map. And the last thing that they have added for the winter event this year is some new Winter Beanies. So they've added one for each faction: Starfleet, Klingon, Romulan, and the Jemadar. I think. Did they not? I don't think they even included Jemadars here. Terrible. So they've only shown off 3 in this picture: Starfleet, Klingon, and Romulan. Hopefully there's more, but if you're into collecting all the winter costume pieces, then you have some new beanies to go out and collect. And again, this is running from December 6th through January 5th, so plenty of time to go in and get your 20 days of progress to get the ship for free. But that's really it. That's everything new for the Winter Wonderland this year. And like I said before, we'll have the stats of the ship out probably on Monday, and I'll do a follow-up video where I go and take a look at the stats of it. But that's really it. That's all that they've shown for this year's Winter Wonderland editions. But overall, I think it's an interesting set of editions. I just hope that they go through and add a turret to the new Breen Space Set. But that's going to be it for me today. Thank you again to all viewers and channel members for the continued support. I will be streaming on December 6th at noon Central Time. The stream is already scheduled, so if you want to stop by and interact, and just see how the new Excelsior is or how the new winter event stuff is, I'll be checking it all out on that stream. But that's going to be it for today. Thank you for watching. See you guys next time.